Welcome to day 1 of 30 days of Bitchin' Bowls. This is the Bitchin' Bowl Challenge. My name is Starr Edwards. You may ask yourself, why bowls? Bowls were the original application of sauce when we made it back in the day. There was not a lot of time to take care of ourselves, so I ate a lot of sauce, and I always thought that maybe this was a superpower, superfood that could keep you going forever. And I'm here to actually go through with that challenge. And so now I go on an embarkment of 30 days of Bitchin' Bowls. Okay, so let's talk now about the baseline. The baseline is, of course, how you judge any scientific experiment. And I don't want you guys doubting the magical impact of a bowl in your life because you're like, oh, she just started doing sauce fit or CrossFit or whatever, and that's what happened. So I'm going to be very, very transparent about my lifestyle and what we're dealing with here. I am 5'9". I weigh 145 pounds. As far as fitness goes, I love to do a nice Pilates, maybe a nice yoga, a weird calisthenic here and there. I don't do cardio. I do steps, lots of steps. That's just because there's a lot of steps, and that's fine. And I lift things, but they're only children. So setting the stage, I'm going to keep doing the same thing that I've been doing. This is what it is not, and we're gonna do this challenge and see what happens. Okay, wait, again, why bowls? Bowls are great. They're so great because they're versatile. Not only are they versatile in how you want to make them, they can be a meal prep situation. It can be a full day-long investment in cooking, which I'm a big fan of, and you will see me doing that. And people can decide what they want in the bowl, which is important if you have a group of people with different tastes. We have a lot of children. There are 5. We have a child that loves to eat a cabbage like an apple, but refuses to have it on a bowl. And we have another child who likes to eat an avocado like an apple, but refuses to have it on a bowl. And this just gives them so much license to do whatever they want, and everyone's eating together, and it's so great. So let's start with that cabbage. The OG bowl has red cabbage. There's a lot of opinions about how to cut a cabbage. Some people do it in dices. I would never do that. I actually am really a strong proponent of having a nice shred. But the shred can't be so long that it dangles out of your mouth. So I do a nice little trifecta here, and then I cut it into the nicest shreds. You know, it's a cruciferous vegetable. You can't be just chewing and chewing and chewing unless you're my daughter and you're trying to eat it like an apple. So this is what I do when I'm making cabbage for a bowl. I go full slaw style, voila, into the bowl, ready to be utilized. Let's talk green onions. So, back in the day at Bitchin' Bowls, one day I walked in to our kitchen to find my brother-in-law Harry prepping green onions. And I was terrified because he literally cut off all the bulb, all the white. Why? It's all the flavor and the crispiness, but that was how he was taught. Again, this is the main thing about bowls, which is that you have license. You can do what you want, but I would never do that. I'm never gonna do that. You cut off just the tip, okay? And then get a nice fine dice going. You want those rings. The rings make it fun. And I keep going. See, some people stop. I want to take all that green onion has to give. Okay. Voila. Into the bucket it goes. Ready to be utilized by really only 2 people because not everyone loves green onions. That's fine. Let's talk jalapenos. Another staple of the farmer's market I got to because there is actually a bit of a conundrum happening Is the darker one going to be more spicy, or is it the one with the pointy tip? I learned at the farmer's markets that it was the pointy tip, but I'm gonna test it out. I'm not gonna do it from the tip. You have to take like kind of like a center thing, so I'm gonna, dice a few of these. Get some good rings going. You kind of need to get near the, oh, you can smell though when they're delicious. Okay, there's that one. Next one. Oh. I don't think so. Okay. The taste test commences. Pointy, dark. This is a really good pepper. So actually, when I learned it at the farmer's market, it had nothing to do with peppers. It was a strawberry farmer, but he said that if it's a pointier tip, that is actually when you know that it's the sweeter one. And people are always so misguided and they try to go for the ones that are red. That's not true. Pointy tip. All right, let's see if it holds true. It's like a bell pepper. Pointy tips, guys. Okay, so I did a bad job before. I didn't tell you what kind of bowl we're making. This is the farmer's market bowl. This is what we made every weekend at the farmer's market. Originally, it was with brown rice, black bean, cabbage, tomato, avocado, green onion, cilantro, jalapeno, sauce, obviously, and people could customize as they would. And sometimes you can throw an egg on there. We weren't great at making eggs. They were typically just like a punctured over easy, but you can do that. And then you can have a breakfast bowl, it's totally great. But back to customization, I don't like brown rice and I'm not gonna eat it. So I make quinoa, which I do like, and I'm gonna eat that instead. So, time for the assembly. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm using this bowl. It's very precious to me. This was from my mother-in-law. We both had an affinity for red glazed ceramics, and she gave it to me and I was very thankful. So I'm using this. This is the OG bowl. And we start with the quinoa. This is a vegan quinoa. This is the most basic of basic quinoas. I will show you later on more ways to make quinoa and other grains. But we're just getting started, guys. We're just getting started. So, you start with the grain. Absolutely lovely. And then we move to the bean. Black beans were our beans of choice in the early days. Look at that. Oh my gosh, they're so succulent. Steamy. Yeah. I'm kind of like an equal bean to grain person, but not everyone is like that. Customization, guys. All right, moving over. This is the fully loaded Bitchin bowl. I'm not about to skimp on any of the fillings. This is going to be the whole thing, start to finish. All right, so we have our quinoa and our black beans. The next thing you do is add the sauce. Because if you don't add it now, you're missing out on layers and layers of melty goodness. Sauce does a really good job at being ladled over warm accoutrements. So here we go, original, because this is the original bowl. And I'm just gonna dollop it right on there. You'll notice I didn't stir the sauce. If your sauce has become separated, you need to gently fold it like a loving aunt would fold your laundry. It's a souffle. Oh. Okay. So we put the sauce on the warm beans and grain, and then we go to the veg. I'm gonna save that there because I'm gonna need it again. Okay, cabbage. Now for some people, this is a Bitchin bowl. It's like 3 out of 7 of our family a bitchin bowl is just quinoa and black beans and cabbage. Next thing, tomatoes. Oh, beautiful. You'll notice that I used a cherry tomato. They hold their form better. You can use a nice diced larger tomato, but they tend to like get a little sloppy. We're not gonna worry about that today. Next, avocado. Oh, hello, my friend. And here we go. I've got these really cute petite avocados, and they work really well for a single serving. And I just give them a nice dice, peel them out with my knife. If you're not comfortable with that, use a spoon. Then comes all the fun little fixins. I like to do onions first, okay? Get those in there. Both the bulb and the stem, very important. Cilantro, no one eats this except for me and my family. I like a salad of cilantro. That's a lot, it's okay, I like that. And then I can see that I've mixed now my dark jalapeno with my pointy jalapeno, and so I'm gonna try to like find the pointy one and put it in there because it's gonna be so much more spicy and delicious for me, which I'm very excited about. I'm a little bit of a hothead and I like that. Okay, that looks like a beautiful bowl. What you do now is you take another little dollop, don't stir it, just lift it gently, and then you just like a poached egg. Look at that. That's great. And then I like to do another little bit of like garnish on top. Just like to make it extra beautiful. Boop. And then I like to do a little lime wedge. Squeeze. And then like a set. Ooh. Beautiful. Okay, next thing, hot sauce. And you might say, why are you putting hot sauce on this heavily laden jalapeno bowl? It's because I like hot sauce. And I have my favorite. Going for the OG. I travel with hot sauce, and I travel for hot sauce. Tabasco. It adds like a different dimension. Not everything can just be homogenized. We're eating because it's fun. So you give it a nice little sprinkle over there. Some bites are gonna be super spicy, have a little vinegar kick. That's exciting. Like, good for you. Good for you getting that. And then I do some chips, because you need a little crunch. Boop. Boop. Oh my gosh, look at that bowl. I'm very excited about this. Okay, the last thing I'll say, I think that it's really important to have gratitude for your food and to share it with people if you can. You may not be able to have people around you, but you can always have gratitude for your food. But that said, I'm going to have 2 bites, alllll. All right. Ooh, it looks so good. Wait, give me one of those peppers. This is so good. This is the Farmer's Market bowl, day 1. It has everything delicious in it. It's so satisfying. It's vegan, it's gluten-free. And I just can't wait to show you more tomorrow.